Have you ever felt like you're just fighting against the current of life? Like you're constantly pushing, struggling? Well, what if I told you that our natural state isn't struggle at all, but a seamless, easy flow with everything? Today, let's explore that idea, how we can return to what might just be our true home, a state of unified consciousness. You hear a line like this from an old Zen master, and you think, wow, that's beautiful poetry, right? But what if it's not poetry? What if it's a direct, literal description of reality? It's pointing to something so fundamental about the universe and about our place in it that we often miss it.
Think of it like this. You see a wave in the ocean, and it has its own shape, its own movement. It looks like a separate thing. But is a wave ever really separate from the ocean? Of course not. It's just the ocean doing its thing, taking on a temporary form. Well, that's us. We are just expressions of one single harmonious source.
I love this quote because it gets right to the heart of it. The universe in its natural state is in perfect harmony. It just flows. It doesn't label things good or bad. So where does our suffering come from? It starts the moment we mentally draw a line in the sand and say, this is me and that is the universe. The problem isn't out there, it's in our perception of being separate. So if the universe is perfect, where does that feeling of separation even come from? Well, it comes from this incredibly powerful and incredibly convincing illusion of me, this idea that we're this isolated self navigating a world that's separate from us. And we have a name for this separate identity, don't we? We call it the ego. It's that little piece of the whole universe that we fence off and label me. And this little me is always busy. It's trying to protect itself, trying to get ahead, trying to control everything around it. And all that resistance against the natural flow of life, that's the source of pretty much all of our personal friction and conflict.
And when you put these two views side by side, man, the difference is just night and day. The ego's view, it's small. It sees a world of competition, of scarcity, of problems that have to be fixed. But the universe's view, it's vast. It sees total interconnection, radical acceptance, and a perfect natural rhythm. Our entire experience of life really just depends on which window we're looking through. So, how do we do it? How do we shift from that cramped, limited ego view to the wide-open, universal one? That's what we're going to talk about now, the path of reconnection. The key here is a word that often gets a bad rap: detachment. Now, hold on. This doesn't mean being cold or aloof or not caring about life. Not at all. It's simply about reorienting your attention. It's about shifting your focus away from the small, noisy, dramatic story of me, and placing it on the vast, quiet, profound reality of the universe all around you. You're not stepping away from life. You're actually stepping deeper into it as it truly is. This state of being has a name in Zen. They call it the beginner's mind. You know what that's like? It's the mind before it gets all cluttered up with opinions and judgments and labels. It's not a mind that thinks it knows everything. It's a mind that is completely present and open to everything, just like a child seeing snow for the very first time. Pure awe. And here's the really cool part. This isn't just some abstract Zen idea. You start looking around and you find this same fundamental truth of unity popping up everywhere, in major spiritual and philosophical traditions all across the globe. Take Christianity, for example. When Jesus says, I and the Father are one, this isn't a claim of being special or better than anyone else. It's a profound statement of unity. It's saying that the very same divine source, the same creative spirit, is what breathes life into everything and everyone. Over in the tradition of Advaita Vedanta, Sri Ramana Maharshi puts it so directly. He taught that our true self isn't our body, our thoughts, or our personality. It's the pure underlying consciousness that is the same in every single being. It's not that there are billions of little selves running around. Nope, there's only one self, and you are that. And circling back to Zen, Huangpo gives us this beautiful image. He says we are all just the one mind. What we call you and me, we're just temporary ripples on the surface of the same deep, still lake. Yeah, we might look like different forms for a little while, but we are made of the exact same substance. So you can see all these teachings are pointing to the exact same shift, from the isolated ego to the unified universe. But let's be honest, understanding this intellectually is one thing. Actually living it, that's a whole different ballgame. So let's look at the actual mechanism for making this shift happen. And that really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? We can read all the books, we can nod along and say, yeah, that makes sense.
But how do we get this out of our heads and into our bones? Because you can't just think your way there. The mind can't force it. The answer, according to so many of these traditions, lies in energy. In Chinese medicine, they call it qi, the vital life force that animates everything. Think about it. When your energy, your qi, is low, your awareness gets kind of dull and the ego just takes over, filling that space with fear and worry. But when your qi is abundant and flowing freely, your awareness becomes sharp and clear. You feel more, you see more. And, this is the important part, it becomes so much easier to just let go.
And letting go brings us to surrender. Now, we have to be super clear about this. Surrender is not giving up. It's not weakness. It's not defeat. True surrender is the powerful, active choice to receive whatever life brings you. It's about trusting the incredible intelligence of the universe and accepting everything that shows up at your door with total openness.
And this leads to a really simple but profound chain of events. When we truly accept everything as it is, we stop resisting. When we resist nothing, there's no more fight, no more conflict. And if there's no conflict, there can't be any suffering. See? This isn't about being liberated from life. It's about being liberated into life. So when we finally align with this state of total acceptance, when we stop judging and fighting and trying to slice up our experience into bits we like and bits we don't, something incredible happens. We finally realize where we've been all along. We realize we're not on some cosmic waiting list to get into a future paradise. That whole idea is based on the illusion that there's a here and a there, a now and a later. And we're not trying to run a spiritual marathon to reach some far-off finish line called Buddha land. It's not a destination you have to struggle and strain to get to. The mind-blowing, earth-shattering realization is that we're already there. We are living in it. Right now, in this very moment. Heaven isn't a place you go to, it's a state of being you return to. It's the simple, profound recognition that everything is already perfect, just as it is, because it's all part of one beautiful, indivisible whole. So I'll just leave you with this to think about. What if the peace and freedom you've been searching for aren't things you need to go out and find or earn or achieve? What if they're your natural state, and they've been here the entire time just waiting for you to simply stop resisting the beautiful, perfect flow of what is?